Welcome to the Bridging Insider. Today our guest is Allison. And Allison, how are you hoping that we can help you today?
I'm hoping that I can get some relief in my neck and or my left hip.
Okay. So I'm Kara Lindell. I'm the founder of the Bridging Institute and the Bridging Technique, where we use physics, which are the micro movements of how all the parts of your body work and flow together. And we use those to help put you back together from whatever disrupted it all. And you do have a few things that have happened to you through the years. And we'll see which of those come into play. Could be the broken arm, could be some of the falls. And we'll just see what we find. So to start with, we're going to just see how you move standing up, sitting down, and check a few things when you're laying down and see where that takes us. So we're going to just go a little bit side to side, and I'm looking for symmetry. Do things match? And I'm going to turn. And does any of that bother your back? It moves, but it doesn't seem like it's super flowy.
It's not flowy.
Okay. And we're going to go a little forward and back, and that is okay, but it almost seems like you're going to fall forward. Have a seat. And going to do the same things while you're sitting down, and just a little side to side. So, when you go to the right, I actually feel it pulling on the left. So that may be part of that lower back. Who knows? It may be part of the hip. We're going to turn. And that's pretty nice. I'm going to come down here in the middle where your ribs are and where your diaphragm is supporting you, and see what's moving here. And guess what? You move to the left, but not really to the right. And turning is not so easy. So it's almost like if we had thirds of you, a top, a middle, and a lower third, that the middle third is kind of stuck.
I would agree.
So we'll see how that plays out. I'm going to let you lay down, put your head here. Let's just check and see how arms and legs and core are all working together. So I'm just going to lift a leg, and great. So can you tell this one actually feels a little heavier, kind of funny. And we're going to see if it moves. And you started to help me. It doesn't move a whole lot on its own. We're going to see how this one, well, they match. So I'd like better for both of them. Let's see how this moves. And could be better on both sides, but they match. We're all about matching. Let's see about an arm. So we're just going to see how it wiggles, and does it have some stretch as it works with your core? A little bit, so that's all right. And that's the arm that you broke. So I was a little suspicious of that. But this one actually just feels so much easier. So give your knees a hug. And we're going to see if you rock from side to side. And you rock to the right, but not so much to the left. Like I'm actually pulling her to the left, and she doesn't go. So we're going to put those down. And I'm going to grab an arm and a leg, and I'm going to roll you a little bit toward me. And it doesn't roll so much. So when you broke your left arm, what was going on? Okay, this side's better than the right, but it could be better. But yeah, so tell me about what happened.
I was investigating a new house being built with my friend.
And you were younger?
I was in second grade.
Okay, so 7, 8-ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I jumped down and landed on my feet and then on my arm.
Not good. And then you had to crawl home or get home with an arm that didn't feel good.
We found the ladder afterward. We were inside.
Actually, you know what? Because of your neck, let me see how your head is moving. Oh, okay. It tips backwards, and that's kind of it. Not a whole lot of movement up in your neck. I know you can move it because I've seen you, but just the easy movement of all the tiny muscles up there, they're protecting. Flip over on your stomach. And a couple other things with hips. We're going to just lift. No, don't help. Oh, that's why you want to help, because it doesn't go. Okay, this one, it's hard for me to even just passively to bend your knee. Like that's as far as it wants to go. And hip will lift a little bit, but not so much. So something is impacting that left leg. Let's see about the middle. And so I get a lot of movement, or enough movement here. It actually feels like you're stuck right in through here. So the one thing that also is kind of interesting in your past is that you have twin children. So your whole midsection got a little bit blown out of shape with twins. Oh my goodness, the left shoulder does not move. That might be from falling and breaking it, because this does move. All right. Tell you what, sit up. We are going to try to get some a little bit better organization in your middle. Mm-hmm. And how old are those twins now?
14.
Okay, so it's been a little bit of time.
It's been a little bit of time.
But I'm not sure how big you are, but a lot of people, when they're having twins, there's a lot of extra room.
It was a lot.
Yeah. And so when it goes back, besides them kicking around and moving around, when everything comes back together, it may not be how it was originally.
Absolutely.
And also your diaphragm muscle is kind of a top boundary, so there's a lot of pushing up against that. Here's what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you hold this in front of you. So we're going to use that like a giant support to your midsection. And I'm going to just pull it a little bit tighter. And I've got it. And we're just going to wiggle this back and forth a little bit. And see what direction you move. It's almost like I'm trying to glue this onto you and use it like a big handle. So you're actually stretching upward toward me and then away from the left hip. So it's almost like things collapse down to the left hip. Mm-hmm. And now you come to the right, which is where you didn't go before, and you turn more easily. And I'm just going to rock this back and forth a little bit more quickly. And there. So yes, I could support and help your muscles, guide them to moving together in an old way, although they probably haven't done it for 14 years. I could use my hands to do that, but feel what's different. That's not as supportive as when I use this. Mm-hmm. And so for that whole system to change, and the whole system was affected by the twins, mm-hmm. It's like we need a big support to get that change. So let's just see where we are. So that moves a ton better than where we started. Love it. You've got every different motion happening through this middle now. So let's see what that leaves. We may have a little something at that left shoulder, but come back on your lay down on your back. So let's see if that changes your legs. Oh my gosh. And this one too. Both. And then here, much more movement. So give your legs a hug. So before you went to the right and not the left. And now there's just a little bit each way. It's almost like you got recentered. So very cool. And then put your legs back down. And I'm going to grab an arm and leg. Much better. And let's see if the other side matches. Hey, they're pretty close. Crazy. Okay, so the real test is, does your head move now? Let's see. Forward, it didn't go forward. Backwards, turning, and sideways. Yes. So getting this middle layer of your core, kind of where your diaphragm muscle is and some of the abdominal muscles, getting that to just be able to get back to where it used to be, just freed up everything on each end. So very cool. Okay, flip back on your stomach. Let's make sure that those are better. And, oh my gosh, didn't even have to put any muscle into that. That one too. And your knee bent so easily. So let's see about here. Very nice. Okay, there's one thing I didn't check with your legs before. Can you go to a frog leg? Yes. And this one too. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Shoulders, nice. Okay, this one didn't move before. It's got a little bit of movement. Sit up. So when you had the cast, was it from here to here? Was it from here to?
It's from here to here.
Oh, all the way. And was it around to the front?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to support your arm. And so you don't have to hold it up. We're just going to hold at the top and the bottom of where that cast used to be, because your arm still thinks there's something there, even though it's been a lot of years. And we're just gonna help it remember how to wiggle with all the little transitions in between. There. And there is probably gonna be a little bit more to do with this arm, but let's just kind of get it out of the cage. There. So when someone has a cast on, if you've had a cast on a leg or an arm, all the little micro movements within from one end to the other are kind of shut down while the bone is healing. So, the objective of the cast is for the bone to be healing. But just taking the cast off, it doesn't get all the little tiny movements throughout happening again. And because they're so shut down, they actually don't know how to restart. So with whether you did exercises or not, or just usually kids don't get that, they just go and play. You get some of the big muscles working again, but not all the little intricate transitions happening there. And what that does over time is just shuts down a little bit of the function at the shoulder, which then impacts the neck. So it is a little bit like a Rube Goldberg or a mousetrap game, where one thing affects 5 other things. There. Okay. And I'm going to put this down. We are going to give those arms a quick shake and see if they match. Very good. So there's some things about your hand and your wrist I can just see looking at them that they don't look the same. The muscles here are just flatter than on this hand, and even through the wrist, the forearm. So I think I'd love to have you come back another time and let's figure out how to get more happening there that just forgot from having spent some time in the cast. Okay. So stand up. Let's see if we're back to where we started, if all these transitions are just a little easier. So we're going to go side to side. And yeah, let's just help you reorient, because this core control it's new even though it's old. There, so we're just going to practice. And you just slipped right into some turns, which is great. Okay, so now without me holding on to you, feel the control. Yeah, and it's flowier. And then we're going to turn.
I can turn.
You can turn. It feels really good. And then forward and back. So before you were almost falling forward. Yeah, now you stop and you just bounce yourself right back. It looks really good. Okay, so just to summarize, what we found is that she had some tightness at the neck, which is what you were well aware of that, and at the legs and the hip. And some of the prior injuries didn't really play a role in that. What did was just the disruption of her core from having all the extra people in there for a few months. So just helping that get itself a little bit better organized just opened up everything else every which way. So that was great. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a like. And it may seem simple what we're going through, but the problem solving, there's some very specific steps to keep in mind. So we do teach that, and the information is in the show notes. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so that you get the episodes every week as they come out. So catch you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.